Hi, this is Megan of Megan's Creations. Today I'm going to talk about resizing in Photoshop. And I have a layout here that I've done with a re-release that came out this week. She Is one of my favorite kits. It's a Mother's Day kit. It's great for any time. It can be for any women. And so my first thing I want to talk to you about was maybe you're really an 8x8 scrapper instead of a 12x12 scrapper. And so I've scrapped this page as a 12 by 12, but I want to make it an 8 by 8. Now, if you want to still be able to adjust it, you need to do that with the layers. But if maybe you want to leave it as a 12 by 12 in the Photoshop document format and then just shrink it down to 8 by 8 for when you go to print it and you save it as a JPEG, which is probably what I would recommend, just in case you ever change your mind, then let's flatten it first. That'll make the process go faster, because anytime you try to resize a layered file like this, it has to resize each layer, and so it takes a lot longer. But if we just right click on any layer and we say flatten image, it will combine all the layers into one layer and then resize it, and that'll take a lot less time. So then we just go to image size, and let's make it, an 8 by 8. Click OK. Boom. That was a whole lot faster than if we left it layered. Okay. Also, I want to talk to you about canvas size versus image size. If you want to maybe make this a double pager, maybe I want to see how the next page, and I would do that before you cropped this. My paper is, I guess I could duplicate my paper. So if I go to image canvas size, let's say I want to make it a double pager, so I need my width to go to 24 inches. And down here there's these arrows, and it says anchor. And so right now if I do 24, it's going to divide that width expansion on the left and right side. So 6 inches on the left and 6 inches on the right to make it 24 inches total now. But if I shift it, I'm saying I want those 12 inches to be added to the right side. By clicking on that left arrow, I've told it I want you to put all that new width that I'm expanding it to the right side. And you could do this if you want to do it on the left side, click it over there and go to the left side. Same thing with height, if you change the height of it. So I'm going to click this left arrow that I want it to expand the width to the right, and click OK. And now, you didn't see it happen, but now I've got all this open space over here. And by having my layers, you'll see that my this, because it was a template, so that photo did get cut off. You would want to redo the photo shape. But you can see that there's my doily, and this, it expands it over to bridge into the second page there. And then you can always take that paper and duplicate it and bring it over, and to connect the two sides, okay, and try to match it up somehow. A slanted stripe is not a good one to try to match up. But anyway, so that, I just want to show you that with image size versus canvas size. Okay, and then with photos, when you're resizing a photo, the way to, we'll go ahead and release that clipping mask, so I'll pull it out here. The way to keep it proportional, there's two different methods. One is when you click on it right here, up here, you'll see that it's got the width and the height percentages. If you just click on this link button right here, maintain aspect ratio, it will make sure that when you resize it, it's proportional for you. The other way would be to hold down the shift key as you do that resizing, and then you go up and I go to the side. It's keeping them the same, proportional, as I resize it. Now I want to remind you that I really don't recommend that you resize images or elements, especially scrapbooking elements, bigger than where they came. because it reduces the resolution. It may look okay, especially, I mean, right now when I'm working on it, that's not the size that this page would print out, so it's already shrunk. It's in a smaller preview size than the actual size, and so I can't, I can't really judge how it's going to look. But if you, and some people, you need to find out what percentage of zoom shows an accurate preview of your layout. And so what I like to do is I just get a piece of paper that I know is 8.5 wide, and I zoom in till I get that this paper matches my ruler on my computer screen. And I think for mine it's at about 30%. It really just depends on your computer resolution where it's at. And so yeah, about 30% is about what it really is, the true to ratio size there for my zoom in. And so it's always good to look at it and go, okay, is my font the size that's readable at that zoom? Did I stretch my photo too much where the resolution doesn't look good anymore? Are there any elements that I made blurry because I made them too big? Those are things you can do by checking that, and I would definitely do that before you decide to print any of your pages. Okay, so especially if you make quick pages for designers, that's one thing that they're going to check, that the element that they gave it to you and the kit size. I mean, if you try to make it bigger, you could mess up with the resolution up with the element. So try to keep that in mind. And then one other thing about resizing is when I'm resizing a photo in a template, I like to usually do the clipping mask of the photo to the photo layer and then just resize that photo layer, shrink that up, and I can move that around and see how it affects my photo. And then if you decide you want to shrink your photo, do that afterwards, after you get to the size you want it. That way you're not having to grab the picture again if you decide, oh, I made it too small now and I want it to be bigger. You shouldn't go back and forth between small and big. If you make the photo smaller and then decide you want to go larger again, you need to start fresh with the original photo. Just again to reduce any possibility of poor resolution or blurry images. So I hope that all made sense, and just some beginner tips for keeping your photos proportional as you resize them, for resizing layouts at the same time. Also, I do that when I made Facebook cover templates, and I have Siggy forum Siggy templates, and when you go in to resize it, you can just adjust it here. And the way I did my Siggy templates, I did it it was a proportion to as big as I could with a 12 by 12, so it's proportional to the size you want to shrink it down into. So you just do that there with the image. If you do that, I really recommend, if you're scrapbooking your Facebook cover or a signature, make it as large as you can so that you don't have to resize all the elements and papers you're using, and then flatten it and then resize it, shrink it down to the size it needs to be. That makes it easier instead of resizing each element in each paper. So flatten, then resize. Always save before you do that. And good luck. Have fun scrapbooking, and we'll see you next week.